Okay, so it's the first time I've done anything like this where I'm just driving to the range, going to practice, and seeing how I feel and where my game's trending. My golf bag right there. Yeah, what to talk about? My golf game has been pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. Haven't swung fully. Haven't swung a club fully in almost 3 weeks. Last time I played was in Palm Springs. Played 72, but 2 of them were executive. At the homies' annual trip. Had a lot of fun. Didn't play the way I wanted to, unfortunately, but that's just life, and that's just golf. But I'm excited to go to the range now, fine-tune a couple things. I think the issues that I've encountered and that I've kind of reflected on. Let me just turn on the AC some more. It's fucking hot. Things that I remember from my swing. First off, let's just start at address. First of all, address, I was just never really fully comfortable over the ball. I was intimidated over the ball, which is something that hasn't happened in quite some time, and never really been that shaky since sometime early 2023. And now, those were the first rounds, by the way. Granted, those were the first rounds I played for 2024. And just never really felt comfortable at setup. I was doing some weird feels, too, at setup, where I felt like in retrospect, I was jamming my arms close, like I was pinning them, like, to my stomach. And then bringing the club up, which didn't necessarily go well for me. I felt that I just didn't have any depth. Felt I was coming steep, even though watching some video back, I wasn't really steep. But that was just like my subconscious telling me, like, oh, you might be steep. And I just really felt super self-conscious about how I was making contact, how I was swinging, the whole nine. Whoa. Need to figure out a way to balance this shit. I need a mount. But the temp, and then once we're done with address, then we'll get to tempo. And then once I was hitting the ball, I just felt like everything was going super fast. I was never comfortable at setup. I know I've said that like a billion times this car ride. But once I brought the club up, tempo just felt way too fast, and I was coming down at the ball, and it didn't feel right. I needed to slow things down. There was a lot of shots that I usually make 90% of the time that usually do go well for me, like those 70%, 80% shots to make a green and reg. Those are the types of shots that make me go lower than I normally do. And when I'm hitting those shots and I'm getting green and regs, obviously tends to better score. It, trends to better scores. But this time around, I just wasn't really thinking. I'm not too sure if I was just over anxious, over eager, just excited to get after the ball. But what I'm going to focus on today, once I do get to the range, is just I'm going to fine-tune a couple things. There's not much I need to fix, which is good. I'm just happy with the fact that I'm cognizant of what I do need to fix. Once I do get in there, how I'm going to be able to, work it out, maybe do some drills. A couple short game feels that I want to try out once I get to the chipping green. My putting was normal all weekend 2 weeks ago, so nothing really out of the ordinary as far as putting. Greens were fast as hell depending on the course you were playing, but putting wise I felt comfortable, and that's one thing that I'm really grateful for, is that my putting was somewhat on point. But everything else was absolute dog shit, and obviously not happy about it, and not happy about the, I'm the inactivity king. I haven't swung a golf club in almost 3 weeks. I've just been doing drills here and there, like in the living room, doing a waggle with the club, bringing it up to like waist high just to get that takeaway feel going, and then just some other things. But I haven't really done anything as far as, you know, swing mechanics wise. So I'm definitely excited to get on the range and get after it. And the past couple of weeks, since I've been back from the Palm Springs trip, golf has been on my mind, but there are other things that have taken its place during this 3 week duration, like getting back in shape and running for once. I've never really been a runner. Running was something that I've always been absolutely terrified of, and I just wanted to avoid it. And then there came a time where I just said to myself, you know, see if you could actually do it. Go run a mile, see if you could actually run, and see how you are cardio-wise and where you stand. I know you're out of shape, but cardio-wise, let's see where you stand. So every other day I'd run a mile, sometimes consecutive days depending on how I felt and depending on how my legs felt. I'd run a mile, I'd run an 11-minute mile, first go around. I'd run another mile the next day or the next 2 days after that, and then be sub 11, you know, 10 minutes, 45 seconds. Then after that, it would be, you know, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, so on and so forth. Then it would get to, you know, sub 10, you know, 9 minutes, 30 seconds, and that was something where I was like, okay, that's cool. And then one day I just decided I wanted to, you know, be somewhat of like a quasi marathon runner. And grateful to people who did give me advice on Instagram and who shared their wisdom as far as running and running for long periods of time. Because when I was running the mile, my mentality is I'm so out of shape that I'm just gonna get out the gate, guns blazing, try to go as fast as I can, because I'm just gonna get tired anyways. I'm just gonna end up being tired in the middle of the run. So if I start fast, I would be in the same shape as if I were to, you know, pace myself, and that's how my times got better. And then I wasn't thinking straight, and I thought that would transfer over to like marathon running, and that's when my legs, I felt they were starting to hurt, and it just wasn't a good feeling, and I knew that this was something that I eventually had to change. So I got advice, you know, start off painfully slow. Don't care about your time. Don't even worry about that. Just jog or go on a nice little stroll. Don't sprint. You know, things like that. The obvious things that I should have just known from the get-go, but I was just too stupid to even incorporate it into my workouts. So I would run a mile and a half. Next thing you know, I'm running 2 miles, then 2.5 miles, then 3 miles, 3.5 miles. And I noticed myself getting a lot better. My cardio, it got to, one thing I noticed, one turning point that I noticed in my workouts was when I was running, cardio wise, I've never felt better like in my life doing any sort of endurance workout like this. I've done, you know, different types of endurance workouts, but I never really pushed myself to the fullest. I've done, you know, a couple like workout classes like F45, for example, but you know, those were cool, but running is just a whole different animal. And when I eventually got better shoes, I noticed myself being able to run a lot better technique wise, and noticed myself being able to run more efficiently. I don't know how this equates to golf. In my, you know, for me, how it equates to golf is I could actually fit in my golf clothes now. I don't have to, you know, struggle to fit into my golf shorts. I could just put them on and button them and zip them up like no other. It's easy. My tops and my shirts and polos are starting to feel a lot looser, and it feels great. I could actually tuck some in, which is a nice feeling to have, especially when you spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on golf apparel. So it's a really good feeling to have once again. But yeah, that's just what I've been up to. Been eating better, been mindful of what I've been putting into my body. Shout out to my wife. She's just been an absolute saint, taking care of me nutrition-wise. Food has been delicious. Haven't had anything that I really didn't like. And it's nice to know that you're gonna have a meal. You know what it is. You know it tastes good. It's on a schedule that you want. You're able to intermittent fast better, and that's obviously a huge proponent in weight loss and being able to get in shape and speed up your metabolism again. And that's one thing that's just made my life completely easy and stress free on the, you know, the health side. And that's something that I'm really happy about. So with this journey starting 2024, got off on the wrong foot. Want to obviously get better, eventually get to a single digit handicap. I'm not too sure how often I'm going to be able to play, but as long as I get out there, get the reps in, put the work in, and I'm going to be satisfied. That's satisfying enough for me. My golf appetite is going to be satiated. End of story. But we'll see how it goes. That's my life as it equates to my golf life. A lot of my personal life and my health and golf have all gone hand in hand, in my humble opinion. And I'm excited to see where it takes me, even though it's been fairly rough and fairly disheartening. So this is episode 1 of kind of my return to YouTube, and we're gonna keep going. I'll meet you guys at the range. Okay, so we were able to find a pretty decent chunk of grass here at the range, which I'm pretty happy about. No expectations as far as where we go here for this practice, but just want to get loose and focus on tempo, and that's kind of the goal today. So I got 54 in my hand, and let's see, we'll see where it takes us. Gonna take a couple practice swings and then we'll go on from there. Feels is the last thing on my mind, just tempo. I don't know if you guys can see that green flag there, but that's kind of where I guess I'll aim for right now. First swing in about 3 weeks. Let's go. Oh, and it's top. There you go. Okay, there you go. Something like that. That's not it. That was so fat. All this feels completely foreign to me right now. Oh, that was so thin. Ugh. Not good, not good. One thing I definitely want to get better at is being able to cover the ball. Something I've never really been too good at since I've been playing. I want to get something like that going as soon as possible. Let me see if I could just try it here. A little pulley. See what I mean? Okay, let's try to hit one more good one with sand wedge, and then let's get the gap wedge. Okay. Let's take out the 50. See what we could do. This is where I gradually start going to full swings. I'm still going to try to do half swings for right now. Okay. Getting somewhere. probably the best one right now so far. Let's try to go full. Knew that was gonna happen. My arms and my upper body don't feel synced up fully yet. Hopefully to get there by the time I get to my shorter irons. But right now, this is something I kind of want to get down with this club especially. That flight was alright. The trajectory was just too much of a knockdown for me. So bad, so bad. Can I just hit one flush for once? Ugh. That was pretty good. Oh, that's good. Nice little high cut. Get some alignment stick action going. Aim at that far post in between this blue flag and green flag. And to slowly but surely get the shorter irons. That felt really scoopy. Felt like I was really trying to help that up. Not compressed, but very flippy. Okay, let's get the pitching wedge. Same target. There you go. I like that. I felt compressed. Okay, not terrible. So off the heel. That's nice. Oh, I hate being inactive. One more good 8 if we can make it happen. That's a good 8. Okay. 7. Just need it to stop flaring. That's on target. Try to emulate that somehow. Much better. Coming up, I definitely feel myself early extending. When I pop up, just the arc on my swing is just, it's not good. I know that's the problem because I could feel it as soon as I'm about to hit, as soon as I'm about to make contact with the ball, I just feel it, feel my hips shifting forward. pad pull. Clean these first. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I want to say that scrub caddies are still on sale on Amazon. If you need to cop, go cop one now. I think regular price is like 20 bucks. I think the homie knocked it down to like 12 or 13 or something like that, but they're on sale regardless. Go cop them. Ooh. Let's move on to my problem club, which is my 3 hybrid. Just haven't been hitting this as well as I wanted. This is the furthest thing from a rescue club right now, but there are times where I do need it. It's just haven't been hitting it well. Ew. That's good. There you go. Okay, so story with this 3-wood. I jacked this up to about 17. It was just set at standard, but I do like seeing the face a little bit more closed on this. So I adjusted it, now it's at the highest setting, and you know, let's see what we can do with it. Oh my god. I wasn't really doing so well hitting up on it anymore. I got to the point where I felt like I didn't have to lean back on driver and just, you know, keep that angle attack at like 0 and just stand over the ball, hit it, just place it, you know, on my left heel. So felt like being able to jack up the loft allows me to do that a lot better. Instead of just going like this and try to hit up on it, I can just stay on top of the ball. So bad. Alright. So, very limited on what I could do on the chipping side, because I got junior programs and stuff, and 2 of the 3 chipping greens are taken. So, I'm just going to do something quick and easy, just, you know, get the motion going. And as far as short game is concerned, hasn't been anything that's really troubled me. Only time it does trouble me is when the greens are super slick and they're very firm. Otherwise the ball's just going to run off no matter how much check I put on the ball. So I'm just going to focus on distance control, contact, and just aim for this short flag right here. Keep it simple. What I've been doing is weight shifted forward, kind of treating it like a putt, and doing somewhat of like a putting stroke. Just rock the shoulders, but that's pretty good. That's not bad. That's gonna run out. Pretty much playing in rough right now. Once again, very short on options as far as what I could do, but this is better than nothing. terrible. How that made that on, I don't know. Open up the face a little bit and try to make the ball just pop up a little bit. There you go, something like that. There you go. And it's not gonna check. Let's try to hit somewhat of a high flopper. See if we can make this happen. Not bad. All right. To assess everything that went on during this range session, this very valuable range session, even though I didn't really hit the ball that well, was definitely still got some good work to do. I still feel like I'm on the right track. Everything in the bag felt pretty good. Felt flush when I was hitting them flush. Felt like it wasn't a fluke. I felt like it was repeatable, something I could do again. There were times where I just felt discouraged because I was hitting a lot of shots thin. When I miss time, and with inactivity and everything like that, a lot of it is just thin shots, flares to the right. Can't wait to get back out there, maybe get some playing time in soon. Maybe another practice session. That was very therapeutic, obviously, for many reasons. I definitely needed that. And back to the 3-wood adjustment that I made, jacking that up all the way up to like 17 degrees, jacking that up there. It was just so easy to hit. Now I mean, it's not even a really good comparison, but I get why people are high, they're kind of going over towards 7-woods, They're kind of making that migration over to these higher lofted 7-woods, 9-woods, whatever the case may be, and I totally understand why. It's so much fun to hit. It's so easy to hit. It's like hitting a hybrid, but with just this larger profile. And the contact feels good. It's super plush when you do have that loft. Just a completely different feeling. And once again, I do understand why people are gravitating towards 7-woods. Interesting tidbit there. Short game felt great. Was watching a lot of Rick Shields and Tommy Fleetwood when Rick was kind of asking for short game tips from Tommy, and Tommy was just saying, hey, whatever club I have, I just do a putting stroke, rock my shoulders, and then depending on the distance from me to the hole, and depending on what club I'll use, I'll still use that same stroke, but, I bring it back the same distance on the takeaway, this and that. And it's something that I've been incorporating, still trying to do my best to keep the weight on my front foot and then execute these nice shots, have it check, have angle of attack, be a little bit shallow on some shots just to make the ball stop. Driver's another thing I adjusted up. I think that was set to standard at like 9. I went ahead and put that at like a 10.5, and with that, it's just preventing me from, instead of hitting up on the ball, having the angle of attack be at like a 0, So with that, I've had a lot of fun trying to hit that. Instead of, tilting my shoulders back and hitting up on the ball, I'm just standing over the ball and hitting it like a normal shot. and it's something that's paid dividends. I feel more confident standing over the ball. Feel like there's less misses, or I'm less prone to having mishits when that happens. So kind of happy with that. It was hitting driver pretty well. Like I alluded to earlier when I was on the putting green, the bunker was just trash. There's nothing to even write home about. It was terrible. Um, that was fun, even though I just picked the best spot of sand that I could dig my feet into. With whatever I had to work with, the very limited sand I had to work with in that bunker, still got a good amount of work in on the bunker side. Just mainly focusing on acceleration and having the ball pop up and not decelerating when I'm about to make contact. But overall, for being 3 weeks out, I'm very happy with the way I practiced. Always practice with intent is what I always say. Don't just go there and bash 50 to 100 balls and not learn anything from it. Try to learn something from it, and really try to grasp what you're trying to work on, and then eventually you will improve and it'll transfer over to competition and round play. But yeah, now it's time to go home, eat dinner, take a shower. My feet feel dirty, there's sand in there. Had a pretty good workout before I went to the range session. Not using that as an excuse, but I felt like that kind of hindered my my ability to actually hit the ball today. So maybe before I do go to the range, maybe take it easy, maybe do some cardio, not like kettlebells or lifting heavy or anything crazy like that, or lunges. So I guess this is my return to YouTube, and we're gonna keep going. Try to get to that single figure handicap. I really want it. I want it bad. Hopefully try to break 80 again and see where it takes us. And really do appreciate you guys, supporters of the pod, for Beyond Golf Performance, or Beyond Golf Talk, sorry. Coach Frankie and I, we're trying to put the work in right now. Got some good stuff planned for episodes. Got a pretty big guest that I'm really happy to talk to and excited to talk to and share with you all. And that's that. We'll call it a day.